This is the Everything Weight Loss podcast with Shari Ware, where we talk about everything, all things, anything to do with weight loss, health, and wellness. Hey everybody, Shari Ware from Everything Weight Loss podcast, and this week's episode is actually a little bit different to all of my other episodes, and the reason for that is because I wasn't actually planning on filming my podcast episode this particular day. So last week, if you managed to catch last week's episode, it was where I was talking to the beautiful Elizabeth Taylor from Taylor Made Health, who is a naturopath and a herbalist, and she specialises in live blood analysis, genetic testing, and the Cell Wellbeing Report. So I was actually really excited after I met Elizabeth and got talking to her, and we did the podcast episode. I wanted to go and get my testing done, or some testing done with her. So I made the appointment, and while I was there, I hadn't planned to film it, but as we were talking, I realised that not only was it valuable for me, but I felt that it could be valuable for other people to see firsthand what it's all about, what can come out of it, so that they can make an informed decision about whether this kind of testing is something that is good for them, whether they want to pursue it or not. So the particular test that I had done is actually, it was a hair analysis, and basically what Elizabeth did was she got a pair of tweezers, she plucked a couple of hairs out of my head right then and there, and put them on a little machine, which you'll be able to see in the video, that analysed my hair. That then generated a report, and the video that you're going to see is actually going to be of her basically going through the report and explaining it all to me, what it means. And I was absolutely amazed at what my hair could tell me about my body. Very specific. So I really hope that it's valuable for you as well. You won't really see me in the video. As I said, I wasn't planning on filming this as my podcast episode. I thought that I would just do an interview with Elizabeth later, but I actually feel that this is much better, and hopefully you do too. So you won't really see me. You will be able to hear both of us fine. You'll see my little hands on the side. You might see the side of my face. But the star of the show today is definitely not me. It is Elizabeth, and you'll see everything that you need to see. So enjoy, and I absolutely would love for you to give me any feedback. I'd love to know if this was of value to you, and if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out and ask, and all of the information to contact Elizabeth will be in the show notes as per usual, and if you haven't already, go back and check out last week's episode. Enjoy.
Okay, so I can see that you've come in for weight regulation, and it's one of the things that I deal with a lot in the clinic, because weight regulation can happen, or weight dysregulation can happen, for so many different reasons. So we've always got to look at what's happening to you. It's all about what's happening to your body. It's not about what's happening with, so and so, they did this and that worked for them. That's irrelevant, because you will lose weight or gain weight or whatever is happening to you for completely different reasons. Yeah. So everybody knows, well, a lot of people know that the fat cell is actually also a storage system. So you can store fat-soluble vitamins, other nutrients, and you can also store toxins in there. So we've got to make sure that if your body has actually put on weight, that we're dealing with the reason behind that weight gain all the time. So we've got to make sure that your body has all the nutrients that it takes to actually run your metabolism. We've got to make sure you've got the water in there that you need. You've got to make sure you've got your electrolytes. You've got to make sure you've got everything that you need to run your thyroid. You've got to make sure you've got your antioxidants. You've got to make sure there's no inflammation in there, because if you have any of these things happening with inflammation makes everything worse. You've also got to make sure that you're sleeping correctly. Do you have enough B3, so you're not using tryptophan to make B3 and not having your serotonin and your melatonin to go to sleep at night? Because everybody knows if you don't sleep well, you'll gain weight. So there's all of these different factors as to why someone puts on weight in the first place. Then external to you, but still internal, is your gut bacteria. And your gut bacteria actually regulates a lot in your body. And we can have a look at that. This is from a company called MedLab. And they have a full chart on all the things that are affected So in your nervous system, anxiety and depression can be re-regulated and down-regulated with your probiotics. We've got your asthma, allergies. We've got obesity. There's a lot of your gut bacteria has a lot to do with even your LDL levels, so your cholesterol levels.
Yeah.
You've also got your liver. Your gut bacteria has a lot to do with your liver and your kidneys, your gastrointestinal tract, and the integrity of your gastrointestinal tract, kidney, and then skin as well.
Okay, so gut bacteria has stuff to do with all of those things.
Absolutely, and especially your brain as well. So the gut-brain connection is definitely there. You do not want any inflammation in your brain. If you get inflammation in your brain, all of a sudden your body isn't talking to your brain correctly, and that can include your leptin levels. So leptin is a hormone that is released by your fat cell that tells your brain how much fat you've got on you. But if you're not reading it, your body thinks that there's not enough fat, and you'll actually increase your appetite. So there's all of these genetic factors. If you've got, say you've got a mineral deficiency, say it's iron, you can't transport your oxygen, you can't run your metabolism, you can't. Yeah. If you've got a calcium deficiency, you need that in a protein in your fat cells called uncoupling protein, and you uncouple the fat to burn it in your muscles. So you're tired. So you need D3 and K2 to go with calcium, or it won't work. So you need all of your vitamins and all of your minerals all the time.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that, like zinc, you get lumpy fat, like you get fat deposits when you've got a zinc deficiency.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that can happen to people as well. So
many things.
there's so many things, but what's your thing?
Yes.
That's the
What's my
thing. So it's no use taking something that's only going to benefit someone else or has benefited someone else.
Yeah.
You've got to look at, how is my thyroid working? How much selenium have I got? How much iodine have I got? What's my copper status? What's my potassium status? And what's my tyrosine status? Because if I don't have any of those, I don't have thyroid hormone, and I'm using my adrenals instead of my thyroid as my accelerator to get myself out of bed and going in the morning, which means that I'm burnt out. And of course, then you produce cortisol, and then you do put on weight.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Can you use the thyroid correctly? Can you use your hormones correctly? Can we use your metabolism correctly so that you're using the body in the correct way?
Yeah.
Because this is just an engine. It's an engine, and it has to have all the parts in the right place at the right time.
Okay.
So the other thing is, if you have any heavy metals or chemicals or anything like that, you have to get them out, because they will get in the way of normal processes.
So I'm guessing you know stuff from my hair that you took out of my head before.
I did. So I did pull your hair, and I pulled a really good. I took the root and all, and it was wonderful. So that's a plate, and this is a Tesla coil, and so we put your hair on that, and it calibrates. But it's like, everybody knows when you step on a set of scales that it'll run a signal through, then it'll pick up bone, fat, water, whatever it wants to, and it'll pick it up and it'll tell you what on the screen what's happening with you. This is ultra calibrated. Like, it took 20 years just to get this. So what it does is it picks up everything, and we can tell everything from your hair, because your hair sits in your bloodstream and it just constantly sucks everything up.
Oh wow!
So we can
that's
tell
like current. Okay.
So we can tell your iron levels from your hair. We can tell your ferritin levels from your hair. We can tell your gut bacteria, because your gut bacteria are off-gas chemicals that end up in your hair. We can tell your cortisol levels. We can tell your hormone levels. We can tell illicit drugs that people take. We can tell it from your hair. So if people don't want to give samples, we can do a hair sample. We can do it that way. Everything ends up in your hair.
Wow.
So we can see what's there and what's not there.
Okay.
So we can see heavy metals, and we can see all different kinds of things.
Okay.
So I love this test because I do it on families, and I can show people all the familial things that are there. So often they'll hate certain foods, and they're like very similar. Oftentimes though, you'll see foods like in the grandparent and the grandchild. Yeah. Which is funny how some of them skip a generation, like they both really hate bananas or something like that. Yeah. And you're like, or spinach or something. You're like, oh, okay, well that wasn't you, but that was like the grandmother and the grandchild. Yes, okay, yeah. So that's really interesting as well when that comes up. But we've always got to look at what I find is one of the main drivers as well is when your gut bacteria isn't working, because you've got candida, or you've come in contact with mold, or you've got a bacterial infection in your gut. So it's called SIBO and SIFO, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth or fungal overgrowth. That drives your gut crazy. The next thing is, because you've got that happening in your gut, you can't detox into your gut as you normally would. That backs up your system.
Okay.
So that's another thing that can happen, which then slows down everything else, takes up all your nutrients and takes up space in your body.
Yeah.
And a really simple one, like people don't think about this, but a really simple reason for people not to lose weight is because they're dehydrated.
Yeah, I definitely know the water one.
Yes.
Always drinking lots of water.
So we need about 2.5 litres of water a day, and that's our absolute minimum.
Yeah.
So everybody knows, like, oh, how does water work? What does it actually do? So all metabolic processes occur within water. So if you're dehydrated, everything slows down. So people think, oh, I'm not going to drink water because then I'll be bloated, but they don't understand that they need to actually be bloated for 6 weeks to get their brain out of, and their body out of thinking that they're in not a famine, but
what is it? A drought.
a drought.
Yes.
So your body literally thinks it's in a drought.
Drinking more water.
Yes. So what happens is you usually store, that's when you store your fluids around here. It's all around your kidneys. So that's when you get the fluid retention around here. So a B6 deficiency is also highly associated with fluid retention, but you know, once you get over the B6 deficiency, why is it still there? So we always keep on looking, but you need your water. If you don't have your water, you know. Another way to look at it as well, why do we need our water? I can blow dry my hair, but if I stick my hand in the blow dryer into a bath full of water, I'm going to die because I electrocute myself. So all electrical currents and all electrical processes in the body occur within water. So what happens in the brain is that when you get dehydrated, the brain actually shrinks, and we know this. But so does your central nervous system. So all the vertebrae that sit there like that, you've got that little nice little soft patch in between. So what happens is that's about 65% water. So when that gets dehydrated, you've actually got the vertebrae pushing on each other, and those two little nerves that come out of either side all the way down, they get squished. So you're going to feel like you're tense and in pain all the way up and down just from being dehydrated, which means that you're not going to move as much. But you don't realise that you're not moving as much.
Yeah.
So there's all different reasons for things to happen to people. It's not just one thing. Like, wouldn't it be great if the only reason you couldn't lose weight was because you were dehydrated? That would save so much money.
That would make it so easy.
That would make it so easy. But that's the reason why I look and say, but why is this happening to you?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I could put you on 1,000 supplements and nothing's going to work if you're not drinking enough water, or if your gut bacteria is not right, or if you've got a bacterial infection in your gut, or fungal, or whatever the case may be, candida, or it's a simple zinc deficiency, or, you know, you don't have enough magnesium, or you don't have enough vitamin D, or your hormones are all that. So you can see why people run around in circles over and over and over again.
Doing all the things they
Doing
think is
all
right.
the things they did. Yeah, that's why I wrote. Like, I've got so many blogs on my website, and I talk about how do you lose weight after when you're breastfeeding? Can you lose weight when you're breastfeeding? Why not? Why does it happen to some people and not others? Well, I found out the reasons why it happens to some people and others based on their hormonal profile and what's happening in their body. So the next thing is, like, why do diets fail? What are people doing wrong? What's happening? It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just that you're not doing what's right for you at the time. So the most important thing is that you only consider you as the factor. So this is very interesting.
Wow.
So the first thing I'm not going to mention, but I'm going to say that I'll give you a person to support you in that. So that's not a problem. So you're looking at protein synthesis. So it's a way that you're actually putting your little proteins together.
So where are you seeing? Is that where am I looking?
So this is your system support summary. This is like 37 pages, but I'm only going to go through a lot of them.
Okay. So does this mean that I need support in emotions, protein synthesis, hormone system, and adrenal system? Okay. Right.
So it's the way that you're putting your proteins together from your amino acids.
Okay.
So your
So
body
is that
needs help
the
with
way
that.
my body's putting them together?
Yes,
Oh, yes.
that's
Okay.
correct.
Not how I'm putting food together.
No.
But okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
It's internal.
Okay.
Yep. So your hormones are out.
I figured that one.
That would be your zinc too.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, zinc. Isn't it funny? I bought zinc for somebody else and it looks like I need it.
Most people do, I gotta tell you.
Oh, wow.
No, never be happy if you don't have your zinc. Ever. It's impossible. Your food restrictions. So let's look at what you don't like.
It says, well, actually, I'm not too fussed on zucchini, but I eat it because I thought it was healthy. But it doesn't look like it's healthy for me.
Yeah, my body doesn't like zucchini either. It can tolerate a little bit some of the time.
So red pepper, is that capsicum?
Yes,
red
that's
capsicum.
correct. Red capsicum.
I love red capsicums.
Your body doesn't like cauliflower, but broccoli is still okay.
Garlic, I like garlic. Salmon, oh my goodness.
A lot of people don't like fish. Lettuce.
I love
you won't
salmon.
miss lettuce.
I like lettuce.
Lettuce has got a chemical in it called lactocarium, and it actually puts you to sleep.
I eat a lot of lettuce. Like I have salad every day with lettuce in it. Is it all lettuces?
I think it's just plain lettuce for you.
So as in iceberg lettuce?
You can still have baby
have
spinach and all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
And, you know, rocket.
But
and
you
all
know
that
those lettuce mixes with all the different coloured lettuces? I can't have that. No.
You can have the rocket and the spinach mix.
Okay.
You have that
So
one.
I can. Oh.
Yeah, you can have the more.
See, people, it's healthy
If you
stuff.
don't know, you don't know. So your antioxidants are low. So you need vitamin E, sulforaphane, which is really important to regulate your hormones, and you need your zinc.
Does this mean that I've got mold?
Yep.
I've just moved out of a rental property and there was mold issues in there.
Well, there it is.
Wow.
It's full of mold. Spores. And you're also post-viral.
What does that mean?
You've had a virus, but that was okay.
Okay.
You're good.
I feel
It's just letting me know. Yeah. It's like you feel like you wake up and you're like,
yeah.
Molybdenum, zinc, silica.
Interference
sulfur.
TV screen.
Yeah, I always bust people for watching too much TV or just.
But I don't actually watch that computer.
It's D3. I'll show you why, but it's D3 in your B3. So you're missing. Okay, so you're missing zinc, which you need to run your everything.
Yep.
You're missing B3, which you need to run your Krebs cycle.
What's that?
B3 is NAD, so nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. I think that's how you say it. You need this to literally run your Krebs cycle. So you put your carbs, your proteins, and your fats in.
Mm-hmm.
You turn it around, you make energy out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Oh my goodness! My body doesn't do that.
Your body's not doing it. Not in the way that you would like, and not as much as you'd like it to.
Wow.
Yep.
See, you're just making so much sense to me now.
So see how you've got vitamin E?
Yes.
So you've got vitamin C, vitamin E, selenium, zinc. There's a couple of other ones. They are not only antioxidants, but they also are minerals or vitamins. Vitamin E. You need D3 for hormonal regulation.
Yeah, well that makes sense because it says that my hormones need supporting. Yeah.
Yep. So vitamin D3 is a hormone and a vitamin.
Oh.
So it's actually cholesterol. Your cholesterol is actually a building block, and it should be used as a building block all the time. It shouldn't just go round and around your system. If it's going round and around your system, there is something wrong, or it can't do its function. So it should be creating testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, vitamin D3, cortisol. So if it's not doing that, why isn't it doing that?
Okay, so mine's not doing that.
Yours is not doing that.
Okay, right. So, but do you know why? You don't know why yet.
But that's why, because we know that vitamin D3 is a hormone, and
yes, okay.
so it's a double duty as well.
Oh, okay.
So where was it? Vitamin E, K1, green leafies but not lettuce. B3, need to run the Krebs cycle, and then D3 for hormonal regulation. That's why.
I'm sad about the lettuce and the salmon and the red capsicums.
TV.
Clams
There's always
I'm not
something.
sad about.
I know, no one likes clams. Okay, so your body says that you need more antioxidants. You need to get rid of the resistance.
Okay.
That's really bugging you.
Yep.
You need more minerals, more vitamins, and less interference, which is a TV screen.
Would that be my computer?
No, the computer's different.
Oh, okay.
Amino acid is pretty good. Your environmental challenges I want to have a look at because I've got a feeling it's coming up. And your fatty acids are really good. You can see the food is probably number 6. So foods is where it is at. Sometimes foods are like number 2.
Okay.
So I'll say, give me some vitamins until you get rid of those foods.
So food's not my biggest issue.
Food is not your biggest issue.
Yay! I've got some.
I've
done some good.
So yes, and then you've got some additives, but we'll get to that much later on.
Okay.
So this is out of all the things that I could have chosen to be your top 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. The sleep would be probably number. So we've got your gut is number 5, your immune system is number 6, your sleep would be number 7.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking at here.
So we've got emotions number 1. So this is in order of what is the biggest issue
for you,
for me. So emotions is number 1. Protein synthesis is number 2. So that's how my body's putting proteins together. Number 3 is my hormones. So my hormones are out. Number 4 is my adrenal system. So how does that impact my body?
Your adrenal, well, if you don't have all your ducks in a row, you're using your adrenals for energy instead of using your thyroid and your proper metabolism.
Okay, and is that because my body's not putting things together?
It's not
properly?
100%, So what else have I got? You've got sleep, you've got liquid hydration, sugar metabolism as the one that would come in like 7, 8 and 9.
Yeah, okay.
So definitely.
So then after the adrenal system is my gut and intestinal, and then my immune.
Okay, so what you need to know from here is that you've got a little amino acid and it's called tryptophan. So tryptophan should become serotonin and melatonin, but it can't if you've got a B3 deficiency because your body has got a backup plan. Because you need vitamin B3 to run your heart. So if you're low in B3, if you're low in B3, your body will use your tryptophan to make B3 in a messy pathway instead of using it in a clean pathway to make serotonin and melatonin. So you're going to be unhappy and your sleep is going to be out. And your metabolism's not going to work. So that's the way it goes.
Wow.
So what else have we got here? So this is not too bad. So this is what your immune system has to say for itself.
Okay.
So it's saying, I want more vitamin D, I want more vitamin E, I want more zinc, twice. One is a mineral, one is an antioxidant.
Okay.
And you also need, again, some more vitamin E. One is a mineral and one is an antioxidant.
Yeah.
Your immune system is aware of these, but it can't deal with it and it wants help.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So that's the mold and the fungus.
Yeah. And gee, it doesn't like corn because here it has appeared twice.
Lucky I don't eat much corn, hey?
I know.
I do like it though, but I don't eat much, so.
That's good because you can't eat any.
Oh, no corn.
No
okay,
corn. You're like a corn celiac, by the way.
Oh, okay. Right, you just got me with that celiac word. Now I understand the importance of it.
Yep. Zinc and then E times 2. Okay, so we've got mold. So when you have one problem, your body can deal with it. When you have 2 problems, your body's running around putting out spot fires. When you've got a virus, a mold, a fungus, and God knows whatever else is going on in the body at the time, your body's like, what am I going to do? I've got to fight the virus. So these are going to have to sit there and wait.
Okay.
So they get to run riot in your body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what's going on.
I'm sorry, body. I'm here to help you.
Exactly.
Elizabeth is going to help me help you.
Exactly. So that's your immune system. Let's have a look at your gut and see what it's got to say for itself.
Well, this is going to be interesting.
Oh, corn's come up again.
Oh, look at that. 3 strikes, you're out.
3 strikes and you are sorry, yeah.
Oh, no corn. Okay. Oh, so that means no corn chips?
Yep.
Oh, man.
I've seen people come up with corn and potato, so think about that one.
Okay, right. I'm very blessed. I can have potato. I'm happy. I have more potato than corn, so
exactly.
there we go.
Right, you've got to listen to your gut feelings.
Oh.
So that's
Isn't
what
it interesting? I don't always listen to my gut feelings.
We should always listen to our gut feelings because they're usually right. So let's keep on going on. I want to have a look at your cardiovascular system. So vitamin E, that's coming up as a recurrent theme. D3, K1, B3, arginine. We can get that through food. That's not a problem. And arachidonic acid. So when we have anything happen in the body, we need two things. We need to switch on inflammation, then we need to switch it back off again.
Yeah.
So I'll go for a run, and my body will create inflammation because it wants to go, hey, I want healing over here. Fix this muscle, fix that muscle, do this, do that. So if I took like a Nurofen or something like that, I wouldn't heal properly because it's dampening down the inflammation, which is dampening down my signal going, hey, come and heal me.
Yeah.
So which means the next time I went out and run, I actually hurt myself because I hadn't repaired properly the first time around.
That's why rest and recovery is so important.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, and also inflammation is not bad, but inflammation that goes on, it's called delayed onset muscle soreness. That is something that I fix a lot in clinic.
Okay. Right.
Of people coming and going, oh my God, I can't believe you fixed that. Yes,
Yeah.
the old DOMS.
Yeah.
So definitely we need to look at that. Arachidonic acid, yes, it switches on inflammation. That's really important. You need it because if you don't switch it on, you don't get the healing, and you can't. And then you've got other amino acids and fatty acids and signaling factors that actually switch it off.
Yeah.
So you need a little bit of both.
Okay.
So arginine is actually really important. It creates something called nitrous oxide.
Oh, well, I've heard of nitrous oxide. I've never heard of arginine before.
No, I think I got it right. Anyway, nitric acid. No. Give me a look. Nitric oxide in the body.
Oxide. There you go.
Nitric oxide, cardiovascular. Okay, nitric acid. Nitric oxide reverses cardiovascular disease.
Okay, alright.
So you need that. If
So
you want to
arginine.
exercise,
Yes, and
a lot of people
exercise regularly.
Yep. So a lot of people will use arginine or ornithine or citrulline. Citrulline actually increases because your body has to use arginine to make citrulline. So if you take citrulline, all of a sudden you have all this arginine in your bloodstream because obviously it didn't have to be used to create citrulline or ornithine.
Right, okay.
So you can supplement either way. It can go either way.
Did you say you could get that out of food?
Citrulline is really high in watermelon.
Oh.
So as long as your body likes it.
I like that.
So yeah. So nitric is important for actually going to the gym and actually working out and, you know, feeling like you can breathe and you're oxygenated properly in your body. So there's a lot of different reasons that people feel like they don't get a good performance out of themselves. It could be vitamins, could be minerals, it could also be fatty acids and amino acids because they're just as important.
Yeah, okay.
So this one wants to talk about, this is your frequency indicators. And frequency indicators are usually out because of vitamin D3 or B vitamin deficiencies, but I'll explain that later on.
Yeah.
So it could be any of those things for you. It's only radio frequency and TV screen.
Okay, so TV screen. I actually don't watch that much TV.
Yeah.
So
Your body just plumb doesn't like it.
it just doesn't like it.
It just plumb doesn't like it.
Right.
Yes.
And what about the radio frequency? So is that my
It doesn't like that too.
telephone? Is that like my mobile phone?
Mobile phones are here.
Oh, so what's radio frequency then?
Literally radio.
Oh, radio.
Yeah.
Oh, is that podcasts?
Yep. Well, I think hopefully not. When we get your spirulina, well, we could use spirulina, but vitamin D3 and your B vitamins and your melatonin. So if you're using your tryptophan to become melatonin, or you're using it to become your B vitamins, you're lacking in both of those things. So you need
okay,
to,
so
you
if
need
we
your B
increase
vitamins,
those, that will help with the other things.
and your D3. So you need that as well.
Right, okay, right.
So the reason I like this system so much is we can see exactly what's happening with you.
Yeah.
So,
And this is going to be different for every single person.
do you supplement with vitamin C?
No.
What's going on there?
I don't know. I don't supplement. The only supplement I have a fish oil.
Yeah.
And magnesium.
Okay, no problem.
That's it.
Alright, so you've got K1, vitamin E, D3 and B3 as your thing, as your priorities.
I eat a lot of fruit though.
Okay, could be that.
Yeah, like I have like 3 pieces of fruit for breakfast every day.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Alright. So yes, it's usually something like dietary or supplementation that would get you over the line. So that's very important. So your vitamin A is really good, your B1 is really good, and your B2 is really good, but your B3 is hanging out there. So B5, B6 and B9 look really good. That's folate. Inositol, yeah, maybe we can do that with food. But the K1, the vitamin E, the D3, the K1 we can do with food really easily. It's the green leafy vegetables, except for lettuce.
Poor lettuce.
Vitamin E, I wouldn't mind topping you up, and then you can get it from your foods. Okay. So we'll do both. Okay. So I want to do that.
So get it to a better level and then maintain with food?
Yes.
Yes.
The vitamin K, what I want to do is, your body has got quite a few different types of vitamin K that actually runs through your system. Yep. So I want to make sure that your K1 and your K2 are topped up, and I want to make sure that your D3 and K2 can work together. Okay. Because that'll help with calcium as well. And making sure that calcium get in the right spots. So we can do that in the one supplement as well. And then we've got B3. So yeah. Zinc. You can't lose weight if your zinc isn't right. Oh. You just can't.
So a lot of people who struggle with weight are probably going to be deficient in zinc?
Well, this is the way it actually goes. So if you're deficient in zinc, your taste buds go. So there's two things that usually happen to people. One, they lose weight because food tastes like cardboard. Or two, they put on weight because they're trying to eat to get the feeling, to get the sensation of the food, because they can't really taste it. Yeah. So, and the smell also goes along with it. So the whole experience of eating is not the same. So they either do two things: they shy away from it, or they're trying to get the same sensation, but they need more food to do it with.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes. So we definitely need to put some zinc in. But I think I've got an idea about that one.
What's molybdenum?
Molybdenum is really important because molybdenum and sulfur balance each other out.
Oh, and they're both the issues.
Yes. So molybdenum we usually find with people who are very intolerant of sulfur preservatives.
Okay. I was actually, oh my goodness me. So, are you telling me that I need to drink less wine?
No, you just need to fix the molybdenum, because if you don't have molybdenum, you can't balance out your sulfur. Okay. And that's where you find you're intolerant to things like the sulfur preservative in wine.
Well, when I was a child, they told me that I was allergic to sulfur drugs.
There you go. Yeah. So that's why they probably gave you enough sulfur drugs to burn out all the molly that you had in your system. Because that happens a lot.
Oh, okay.
So then you would develop an intolerance to it because you didn't have what it takes to balance out. Because molybdenum and sulfur have to be in the right. So you can see why you've got that sulfur deficiency, because you don't have the molybdenum to balance it out.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So yeah, everything else looks
Silicone?
good.
What's the thing with silicone?
Silica is really important for your hair, skin, and nails, and also structure.
Okay.
So definitely bones.
Okay.
Yeah, very important. And also it's known as a cleanser, and it's also
for your body.
So if you get something like bone spurs or something like that, we use a specific type of silica with K2, and it uplifts the minerals from where it shouldn't be, and the K2 helps to put it where it should be. Okay. So we can fix things like bone spurs. It's actually not that hard. Yeah. So, arachidonic acid. See how this is just an outline? Yes. So it's not a big deal. Everything else looks really good. It's just, hey, give me a bit more of that.
Okay. Right.
Because we need to do that.
Because it's not shaded in like these.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So these are P for priority again. Okay. So you've got P for priority, A for attention. Everything else looks really good. Zinc, vitamin E, and sulforaphane. So we can get the food. We're going to supplement with that one and that one. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. The next thing, okay. Tyrosine, when we're talking about thyroid hormone, tyrosine is 3 iodine. Thyroid hormone is 3 iodine and a tyrosine. That's a really simple way of saying it. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have the tyrosine, you might have all the iodine that you can ever poke a stick at. But if you don't have your tyrosine, you can't make your thyroid hormone.
So does that mean I have issues with my thyroid? You
would have a slight issue with your thyroid. Not with the thyroid itself. There's nothing wrong with the thyroid. You don't have the building blocks. It's like you have the entire car but no spark plugs.
Okay.
Yep.
So does that impact weight?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, so
missing one thing.
All the times they've told me there's no issues with my thyroid, and there actually was.
There is, but you're only missing one thing, so that's good. So it's not a thyroid issue as such. There is no problem with the entire car. You're just missing the spark plugs.
Yeah,
yes, exactly. So carnitine, what does carnitine do? Carnitine shuttles the fat between the outside of the cell and the mitochondria where it's burned for energy.
Right.
So you might have all your ducks in a row, but if you're missing the carnitine, you won't be shuttling fat from the outside of the cell to the mitochondria.
And I'm missing the carnitine.
Exactly. So you can see how
sense.
this is coming along. Can you see how one thing?
Yeah.
It's one thing and then nothing happens. It could be anything from water to an amino acid to a vitamin to a mineral to whatever. But if you don't have it, you don't get it. You don't get what you want.
That's right. Okay.
Yep. So we're going to look at the foods. It'll talk about the foods in a minute. So that looks pretty good.
Okay.
I'm sure there's something sitting there, but it doesn't want to talk about it yet. So we'll just keep on going past there.
Right.
Once we get all your ducks in a row, it'll talk about it later on. So what it wants to talk about right now is this.
Oh, okay, right.
So that's a huge priority for you. It's like, oh my God. See how this is so tiny?
Yes.
That's really good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right. And that's parasite.
So
Parasite
these
is
are the
really
two
tiny.
things. Yeah, parasite is really tiny. So these are the two things we really have to concentrate on.
Okay.
So that's going to take a little wind out of your cells, and this is what we're going to look at now.
So number 1, fungus. Number 2, mold and spores, and number 3, post-virus. So that means I've had the virus.
Yes, but your body's got to recover from it.
Yes, it hasn't recovered yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So you would have burned through a lot of your zinc actually just trying to deal with all of this.
Okay. So what about the virus? Would that have been like for a long time, or would it have been for a short, or you don't know?
No, it's just something that happens
I just
to us.
had a virus.
Yeah, we're constantly coming in contact with something.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time we socialise with people, we're just spreading the germs.
And we don't die.
So, yep. So this again is talking about your food restrictions. Yours is corn.
Okay.
You're a super corn hater.
Wow.
So in everybody, you know how people talk about gluten and
Yes.
I hate gluten and this happens with gluten and everything like that. You're like that, but with corn.
With corn.
With
wow.
corn. So that's
This
your
is
thing.
So fascinating.
So now we're going to look at your numbers. Aluminium. Okay, so that's going to come up next. So once we've got, see, you can't detox into a gut that's not happy.
Okay, and my gut's not happy.
Your gut's not happy.
Okay, right.
So you've got
working.
environmental factors sitting there, but
Yeah.
you can't do anything about them.
Okay.
You just can't.
Yeah.
So until it's like you want to clean out the whole cupboard, but your hallway's so full of junk that you can't open the doors.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on.
So this is not a case of me not doing the right things. This is the case that my body's not working properly. So it doesn't matter what I do. It's not unless I do the right things.
I see it constantly.
Yeah.
I see it constantly. I see people and they're doing everything right, and all they're doing is missing a couple of the nutrients and doing one or two things that they shouldn't be doing that they have no idea about, like corn.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden nothing works. It's funny because if you look at the food allergy charts, corn is like way up there, like wheat, milk, soy, corn, seafood, peanuts, that kind of thing. It's like right up. No one here talks about it.
Wow.
So, and we always take people off. We always take people off gluten and milk, but nobody ever thinks about, what do you like with corn? If nothing else works, why aren't we looking at corn? Or whatever it is for you.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, there's a way to find out what it is for you.
I know.
This testing, but people just don't know about this testing. I'm telling you about this testing, people.
So I had to do everything the hard way.
Yeah.
So this all happened to me, like, they were like, I was constantly bloated and everything like that. And I was going to the doctor and he was like, well, how about some, antidepressants and painkillers? And I'm like, I'm not in pain and I'm not depressed. I have a stomach ache.
Yeah.
So he said, it's all in your head. So I went, fine. And I went off and I saw a psychiatrist and a hypnotherapist. And that was all well and good, but it didn't do a damn thing for my gut. So I ended up doing the Friendly Foods diet, which is the really long and hard way of doing everything. But I did it.
Yeah. And
then it came out as sulfur-preservatives and definitely the wheat. The wheat was absolutely killing me. It was wheat. And oats also kill me.
Oh, wow.
But I don't like the whole plant. See, some people just don't like the gluten. I don't like the entire. I can't have wheatgrass. I can't have wheat germ oil. I can't have anything.
Oh, nothing to
Nothing
do with
of
the wheat
the whole
plant.
So
Okay.
I can't have oat straw. I can't have like a herbal that's got oats in it. I can't have it.
Yeah, wow.
That's like I can't have the entire those set of plants that
Yeah.
have got something to do with gluten and everything else. I can't have wheat protein in my shampoo.
Oh, wow.
So it's and
Oh,
wheat
so
stuff
even
in my,
not something
yes.
you're putting in, not something you're ingesting, but
Yes.
something that you're putting on your hair.
Yes, it does not
Wow.
resonate with me at all.
Okay.
So I can't do the whole plant.
Okay.
So that's what some people are like. They don't like the whole thing.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. So mine is very different, but that's how I found, and I had to do everything the hard way, and it was just so painful. And then after I did that, people were like, "Oh, you should do that. You know, everybody's got problems. You should do that." So I went and got a degree. I thought, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly.
Yeah. Well, this
And I went
tells
and got a
you
4-year degree.
what you need specifically without having to do it.
And
the
what you
hard
need
way.
to avoid
The
and what's
hard
coming
way.
up next.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So that's what's coming up next for you. So your body is going to want a detox.
Okay.
But we can do that later.
Okay.
First, we're going to deal with the first thing. Then we're going to come back and, on this page here, this is page 28, you've got some more information about EMF, toxins, food additives, and gut support. So you can click there and it'll take you to a different page.
Okay.
So
Do I
does
get a
have,
copy of
yeah,
this?
it does have generic information, so it's information for everybody.
Yes. Okay.
So it's always, you got to go back and have a look at, okay, these are the foods that my body doesn't like, and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So yeah. So wild rice is completely different to rice.
Okay. So
It's a-
I
it's a-
thought,
it's a
see,
seed.
wild rice is supposed to be healthier for you, but not
It
for
is
me.
wonderful, but it doesn't work for you.
Not for me.
Not
Okay,
for you.
right.
Yep. So these are where you find your foods that are going to work for you.
Right.
So obviously we're going to supplement with that anyway. But you can see if you put these foods into your
Man,
diet.
I see Brussels sprouts on there, and I do not like Brussels sprouts. They make me throw up.
Some people are like, I really like Brussels sprouts. I can eat them and just, you know.
Cannot
Also got
stand
there's
them.
plenty of other stuff.
Yeah, there's
there.
lots of other stuff.
Yes,
There's lots of other
exactly.
stuff, and things I like too.
Yeah.
So.
So if you see something your body doesn't like, you just go, scratch that.
Okay.
So then you got beans, lentils, and chickpeas are really, really good. I don't know why they've got a bad name. I don't know why. Obviously, people just want an excuse not to eat them, so they just made up horrible things about them. But beans do quite a lot. So beans, you know, you can beans, for example. So your beans have got all your vitamins, all your minerals,
Yep.
a lot of protein in there,
Yep.
and the rest of it's pretty much fibre.
Okay.
So they feed your gut bacteria, which then feeds the wall of your digestive system and makes your gut healthier.
Okay.
The fibre also works as a somewhere for your body to put toxins in so you can get rid of them.
Yep.
So they actually work as not only a feeder to get you healthy, but to get gunk out of your system and to actually remove it safely.
Oh, good. Okay. Awesome.
So that's why beans are so good. And if people think they have a problem with phytates and lectins are actually broken down by the heat process by just simply cooking food by about 75%.
Yeah.
And the rest of it's actually broken down by your gut stomach acid.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem with phytates or lectins, it's actually your stomach acid that's the problem.
Oh,
So it's not the food, it's you. So you've got to look at why am I reacting poorly to a food.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I get
So
you.
that's one of the things that can happen. So it shouldn't be a problem. If it is a problem, it's probably what's happening in you.
Yeah.
So yes. And poor stomach acid is highly related to a zinc deficiency.
Okay.
Yes. So that's the next thing.
Okay. That
So-
makes sense.
You've got all your foods here and what it goes with.
Yep.
So you can always do a bit of supplementation.
Okay. So this is. So it says salmon there, but yet salmon was on
Yeah.
my.
Yep. So this is an example of obviously you can get arachidonic acid from chicken,
Oh, so this
turkey,
is telling
eggs,
me
beef.
that I can get them. Okay, but if
Yep.
there's anything on there that's on my foods list that I'm.
Then
that,
you scratch it
yeah.
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You go no.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
So the carnitine is quite good. Is available in a lot of different foods as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So you just need to top up. That's the last thing on your list, which I thought it would be.
Okay. So this is vitamin E is the most important.
For you right now,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
that goes down the list in
Yep.
order of importance. Okay.
Yep.
Right.
So the next thing is your resistance page. So your resistance foods, garlic, coconut oil. See, people think that coconut is a weight loss agent. It's not. It's actually an antifungal and it changes your gut bacteria so you can lose weight.
Oh, okay.
You see what I mean? See what I mean? See how people think like people will take like coconut oil, expect to lose weight, does nothing for them. Why?
Yeah.
Because they don't have the problem.
Yeah, well, I just thought it was healthier, but not healthier for me.
Well, it depends. Like if you've got a gut fungus and it's an antifungal, then it will help you.
Yeah.
That's why it works. It does actually have C12 is actually a 12 carbon fatty acid that's in coconut, and it greatly reduces your appetite.
Yeah.
And also the C10 and C8 medium chain triglycerides in the coconut actually, the fats in the coconut, they actually are antifungal.
Okay.
So they help to, regulate. And that's why people go on MCT oil thinking it's going to help them lose weight. And sometimes it does.
Oh, so this is saying that I should add those things
yes,
in.
They're your resistance foods.
Because I have
fungus
coconut oil.
prosperous.
Okay, awesome. So I can have garlic coconut oil, unless they're on my not eat list.
Yes, exactly. Because coconut, I don't agree with coconut. I can't have coconut water. I can't have coconut oil.
Oh, okay. Because I do most of my cooking in coconut oil.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Olive oil is definitely the one that has got the most research in benefit.
Okay.
Yeah. So
if I'm not cooking, I use olive oil.
Yes.
But if I'm cooking something in oil, I use coconut oil.
Okay. So resistance foods, green tea would be great for you. So green tea contains a chemical called ECGC, and it tells your body to burn fat for energy instead of storing it. So once we get all your ducks in a row, you've got your B3 and you've got your zinc and you've got, Okay. So that would work really well for you.
Okay, I'll do
So you only need like 1 or 2 cups a day.
Yep.
That's it. That's all that you need. There's actually a lot of chemicals in our foods that we eat that actually regulate our weight, our hormones, our blood pressure, everything like that, and they're supposed to be there, and our food is supposed to talk to us, and the more natural we can get it, the better off we are.
Yeah, well, I do buy organic from the markets.
Yeah.
And that's what I
Yeah.
use mostly.
You don't have to do everything all the time. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Just whatever you can get.
I do the best I can.
Yeah, you do the best you can. So if you can get organic apples, or you can get organic this. If you get 2 out of 5 things, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So anything's better than nothing.
Yeah. Cool.
So let's go back up to here, and we'll have a look at what you need. So that's not hard to do.
No.
You know what to avoid, and now especially the corn, and now you know what to put in as well.
Yeah. Yep. Cool.
Yep.
And I get a copy of this. So
Absolutely, it's yours. Yep.
Okay.
So you get to save it, and next time you come in, what we're going to do is, and this is what I do with everybody. This one will go over this side, and your new one will go over this side, and we'll go through page after page after page, and we compare what's happening with your zinc.
Okay.
How much has it gone in? Do you still need it? Where has it gone? Is this go over here? Is that over there? How is, because I know what's going to happen. You're going to get rid of the resistance, and then you're going to want to detox, and that and your reds are going to start coming up.
Okay.
So that's what's going to happen next. But
So how long usually, so when do I need to come back and see you next? How long do we have in between?
I think what we want to do is put everything back in. So I think we need about a month to do that.
Okay.
And I also want to see what's going to happen when you go off the corn, and that's going to also take about a month.
Yeah.
Because it takes a while to actually get out of the lymphatic system.
I don't actually eat much corn.
It's only a little bit every week. I know with me, if I have gluten like once, I'm stuffed for the next 2 weeks.
Look, I'm just trying to think if there's anything that I have regularly, like weekly, that has gluten.
Oh, you wouldn't believe. When you go next time you go shopping, make sure you got about an hour and a half on your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at all the ingredients. There must be something that I'm having that's got corn in it, or corn.
Corn
so
flour.
Anything to do with corn. So I could
corn
starch,
syrup.
corn starch. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So lots of things. So what I want you to do is I want you to get a piece of paper, and I want you to write all the foods that your body doesn't like, and all the numbers that your body doesn't like. Put it in your purse.
Yes.
So usually when you go out, you'll be able to go like that, and that's why I say take an hour and a half to go shopping. Yeah, put it on your phone. So whatever you want to do, and then you can have a look at it and go, okay, I can't have that, I can't have that. But here's a lot of the foods that you can have.
Yeah.
This is a page that I usually say to people, print it out and put it on your fridge.
Yep.
Because it'll make a huge difference.
Yeah.
But now that you know what you know that you're more in control about what you can do.
Yeah.
For the adrenals, we can put you on herbs like withania, we can put you on rhodiola, we can put you on Oh God, there's so many of them. We can also put you on weight loss ones like Coleus, Blue Flag, and these will all help to actually regulate not only your cortisol levels and your hormones, but it'll also help to regulate your metabolism as well.
Okay, all right. So this was the first step. Now we're going to go through a process of adding in all the things that I'm deficient in, and I've got to really make sure I take that corn out. So I've got to start looking at everything to make sure it's got nothing to do with corn starch, corn anything. And then I'll be back in a month and we'll do another test.
Yeah, and we'll put it side by side and we'll see what's happening, what's not happening.
Awesome.
So that'll be good.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Remember to check out the show notes, and if you have any comments, feedback or suggestions, I'd love to hear them. If you've received value from this podcast, make sure to subscribe, and I'd love you to rate and review the show. Have a fabulous day.